I am going to tell you something that I have never said out loud before. I was targeted by a romance scammer. And before you think that that would never happen to me, I want you to stay with me here because I was not lonely. I was not desperate, nor was I naive. I'm a strong, smart, independent woman, and still it almost got me. And this video is not about embarrassment. It's about trying to make sure that it really doesn't happen to you. And it started on Match.com. He reached out first, lots of texts, long conversations, sweet, attentive, consistent messaging. He sent photos, a good looking man, friends in the pictures, and work sites, and a whole life that looked really real. And he said he was in the petroleum business, out of the country for work, which is, of course, explained why we could not meet. And then came the flowers, teddy bear, gifts that showed up at my door. And I want to be honest with you, it certainly felt good. Not because I was lonely, but because being cared about feels good. And that is human. That is not stupidity. And that is just being a person. Then came the problems. There was always a problem, a business emergency, something that needed funds. And honestly, it started small, so small that it seemed reasonable. But it continued to get bigger. And every time I hesitated, every time I felt that something was off, the guilt came. Messages, calls, you do not really care about me messages. If you love me, you would help comments. I thought you were different. On and on and on. That guilt, that pressure, that manipulation, that is the machinery of the scam. They are professionals at this. This is their job. And they are very, very, very good at it. My gut told me something was off. I want you to hear that. My gut, I knew before my head caught up. Things didn't add up. The stories shifted. The emergencies kept coming. And something in me was quiet, but pretty clear, kept saying, this is not right. And I finally listened to it. I ended it. And it did not end cleanly. He kept trying. Calls, messages, harassment. I blocked every number, every email, every way that he had to reach me. And eventually, it stopped. But not before I sat with something really uncomfortable. I felt like an idiot. And I want to say that plainly because I think a lot of women feel that if it happens and you don't say it out loud. But I was totally embarrassed. I felt foolish. I felt taken advantage of. I felt like I should have known better. And I want to say to every woman who has ever felt that, no, you were targeted by someone whose entire purpose was to make you trust them. And you are not an idiot. You were manipulated by a professional manipulator. Those are not the same thing. And I want to tell you about something else because scams do not just come through dating sites. They come through your computer, your phone, any number of ways. And this crisis came up on my computer on Microsoft software. A number to call for customer care. My screen froze up and it said call right away, and I was on the phone And honestly, something didn't feel right. And my son was with me, and so we called the local FBI office, and they told us to hang up right away. I'm on the phone with the scammer, I'm on the phone with the FBI. And we did. And this was supposed to be with protection software already on my computer. So I want to hear you, I want to say this to you clearly, that no protection is foolproof. Your gut, your instincts are your best defense. I am certainly more careful now. My trust walls are up in ways they had never been before. And I carry something heavier than that, the knowledge of how cruel and mean this is. That people feel compelled to prey on others this way, on women who are just looking for connection, on people who are simply human enough to want to feel cared. It's incredibly cruel, and it is deliberate. It is not your fault when it happens. And so, what I want to leave you with is this. My message to every woman watching this: trust but verify, especially if it's long distance, especially if you have never met in person. Never, and I mean never, ever, 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 ever send money. Not a little, not once, not for any reason, anything that they give you. No matter how compelling the story, and no matter how guilty they make you feel. If something feels even a little slightly off, that feeling is information, and it is telling yourself something. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't let them talk you out of it. Pull the plug. Cut the cord. Block the number. Block the email. Turn off the electronics if you have to. Do not sit alone in this. Talk to a friend. Talk to your son or daughter, or talk to someone that you trust. And yes, it's embarrassing to be taken in by a scam. I know that feeling personally. But embarrassment is survivable. Financial loss is much harder to recover from. And please, please report it, even if you think nothing can be done. Even if you feel like this is too small to matter, report it to the FBI at ic3.gov. Report it to the FCC at Report Fraud. Every report helps the next person. You are not alone in this, not even close. The FBI reports that romance scams are the #1 financial crime targeting people over 60. Which means if this has happened to you, or almost happened to you, you are in the company of millions of strong, smart people who were targeted by professionals. You are not an idiot. You are human, and you deserve to be protected. I shared this today because I know somebody needed to hear it. And maybe that someone is you. Maybe that someone is a person you love. Share this video if it helped. It might be the one thing that saves someone. And tell me in the comments, have you ever experienced anything like this? Or do you know someone who has? You do not have to share the details, honestly. Even just knowing that you are not alone in this matters. Because I read the comments. So what I want you to do is to like and subscribe to this channel, because there is much more to come. And I am Deborah. This is still becoming, one day, one conversation at a time. I will see you next time. I know